Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Well, there's breaking news out of the sporting world. Golf legend Tiger Woods has been injured in a car accident. Los Angeles County officer says Woods was the only person in the car. He was extricated from the wreck with the jaws of life by Los Angeles County firefighters and paramedics, then transported to a hospital by ambulance for his injuries. His agent says he's undergoing surgery on his legs. Woods was involved in another serious car accident more than a decade ago. There's no info on his current condition or what caused the crash. As we told you yesterday, Lloydminster broadcasting legend Wes Saunders passed away last week at the age of 92. Wes was all about community and was well known around the region and beyond. Tonight we hear from family and friends about the life and legacy of Wes Saunders.
Good evening. A shooting rampage today in a Chicago suburb. 1 is dead, 6 are wounded. Prairie farmers look to Ottawa for an injection of money to fight drought.
I look back to people before me that were part of the station and came through those doors, and he was such a great mentor to them, and they went on to much bigger and better things. And just what he taught as a broadcaster, what he taught as a professional, being professional, being respected in the community. And I take that, what I learned from him, to today. So
I think they looked to him for stability. He conducted himself professionally, and he tried to, give people a fair and equal opportunity to have a voice. And I think that he helped connect so many people because of the fact that he would do remotes in all the communities in the Lakeland region.
The thing is to develop a style of interviewing that you don't intimidate people, but that's how you learn. You learn by doing.
I'll never forget the time he had Peter Lougheed in the studio here, and he'd had a hectic week and hectic few days, and for some reason or another, with his introduction, he started with, "I have with me in the studio today, Peter," and he just lost it. He couldn't remember his last name, so a big breath, everybody's holding their breath, and all of a sudden, Peter Lougheed said, "Lougheed's the name," and they carried on the interview like there was nothing happening.
And I think one personal story is bringing my sons into work and going into his office, and he was like Grandpa Wes to the boys, and which is now full circle because both my boys now work behind the scenes at Stingray on TV. So to think that they came into that building, saw Wes, and now they're working in that same building, it's pretty neat.
That's the news to the moment. Well, we're just 45 minutes away from Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and Brian has that story.
When you look in a dressing room and you look at leaders in a dressing room, he was a leader and he led by example, but more than anything, a true leader doesn't say a lot at times. He's very quiet, but when he does speak, everyone listens. And that was what Wes was, and not just in our building, but out in the community. When he talked, everybody listened.
It's what you grow up with, you remember more as you get older from the earlier years. That's what they tell me anyway, and so I think that there's still lots of people around that do recall how Wes affected them in their lives.
Have a good Victoria Day holiday weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 6.
4 more people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan have died. There are 122 new cases, including 10 in the Northwest. There is 1 new case in the immediate Lloydminster area and 37 active cases. Province-wide, 1,530 cases are active. 174 people are in hospital, including 16 in the Northwest, with 1 of those in intensive care. More than 62,000 vaccines have been given in Saskatchewan. And pharmacies will be involved in Phase 2 of Saskatchewan's COVID-19 vaccine distribution plan. The full plan is still under development, but the province says in a news release that pharmacists will be a part of the process to provide more access to the vaccine. Along with pharmacies, the Saskatchewan Health Authority will be running 230 clinics across the province, including drive-through and mobile clinics. Local pickleball players are hoping to move their sport outdoors in Lloydminster, asking City Council to build an outdoor pickleball court in the city. Eric Bay has more on the growing sport.
It's been 3 years since Gerald Korpaniuk picked up a paddle and started to play pickleball at drop-in sessions in Lloydminster after hearing about the sport from friends who had traveled to Arizona.
So I thought I'd try it, and I came back with that excitement because it's a terrific sport. It's a terrific sport.
Usually an outdoor sport, the only place to play pickleball in Lloydminster is the Service Sports Centre. The lack of facilities and COVID restrictions forcing pickleball to stop play led Korpaniuk to address City Council about creating an outdoor court.
The restrictions that we had in the past year forced us to stop playing pickleball here at the Service Sports Centre because it was an indoor facility. So we were only allowed to play for the summer maybe about 4 weeks.
In the city's 2021 budget approved last fall, there are plans to convert the lawn bowling field at Bud Miller Park into a pickleball and basketball court. Mayor Gerald Albers is glad to hear there is interest in the plan.
Administration identified it last year, brought it forward as a budgetary item, and we'll move forward on this year. Again, a lot of pieces to fall into place yet, namely weather and pieces like that. So we'll work on it and get it done as soon as we can.
Played on a badminton-sized court, pickleball allows participation from all ages because it's less strenuous than tennis, and Korpaniuk sees an outdoor court's potential to boost community health.
We've had people that, they're walking around with limps, and they still come out to play pickleball. They play as well as they can, but they're getting out and they're exercising. And as I said, if a person gets to an age where they can't play these more strenuous sports because of age and injury, what are they going to do? Well, pickleball's an option.
Great opportunity to grow it as a family game, as well as let our seniors that want to play more have that ability to have physical activity, because that's key, again, to improving the health and wellness of our community.
As restrictions continue to change, Lloydminster's picklers are excited for the chance to serve and smash outside in the near future.
It is an outdoor sport, and it's the summer, the spring, the sun's out. And you want to be playing outside. You want to be outdoors, not indoors when it's nice out.
Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
This year, many people collected government recovery benefits, and questions are being raised on how this will affect your taxes. Benefits collected this year, such as the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, also known as CERB, and the Canada Recovery Benefit, will need to be reported on your taxes, and they are both taxable.
A lot of concern about what needing to repay the CERB benefits or other COVID benefits. And I guess there's an important distinction there where the CERB turned into the CRB. The CERB payments, there's no clawback that's required. For the CRB, which happened in end of September, it started, I believe, there can be a clawback depending on what your income is.
This past year, more people work from home due to COVID-19, and there's 2 different ways people can claim their home expenses.
So they've made it a little easier to claim a deduction for home office expense. So that's new this year. The rules the rules around it are a little bit detailed, but they've kind of got a simplified method where you can get about $2 a day for a deduction.
There is a longer amount of time to pay interest for those who receive the benefits.
There is some CRAs calling it sort of targeted interest relief for individuals that have received COVID-19 benefits. So depending on the circumstance, your payment date can be extended out to April of 2022.
If you are looking for any more information regarding taxes, visit canada.ca. A motion made for review back in January for a possible closure of Clandonald School has the school's parent council wanting to voice their opinions. We go to Shelby Clark for more details about a community Zoom meeting coming up this Thursday.
Joining us today is Leith Matthews with the Clandonald School Parent Council. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good.
Thanks.
So on January 21st, Clan Donald School was notified about a motion that's been made for review for a complete closure of the school. Can you tell me more about this motion?
Yes, that's correct. On January 20th, the Buffalo Trails Public School had made the motion to review the Clan Donald School for a possible closure. This isn't our first time we've been up against this. This has been something we have been through before. And being a rural school, we understand that this is the case for some of us.
And what exactly is the Clan Donald School Parent Council trying to accomplish right now?
All right, so our concern, not just for our school, our small rural school, but as rural schools in a general, we feel like we need to find solutions to sustain these rural schools. This is, this is going to become a big issue, just the way that the government is putting in new models to fund the education programs. Unfortunately, the rural schools are taking the hardest hit. And it's sad because rural schools do play a huge role in sustaining the rural culture, heritage, and lifestyle that supports the agriculture industry. So this is something we want to hang on to. We believe that having our kids going to school in their community is very important. And I think that's something that all rural communities could agree with.
And I know there will be a Zoom meeting coming up for this. When exactly is the Zoom meeting for this motion, and where can people find it online?
All right, so it is going to be a virtual meeting through Zoom. It is this Thursday, February 25th at 7 p.m. They can find the link on the Clan Donald School website or the BTPS website under upcoming meetings. They just will go down and click on the link. It's all set up there.
And are residents allowed to join this meeting and voice their own opinions?
Absolutely. Everybody is allowed and welcome to join this meeting. We would appreciate everybody that is able to attend and support to please do. That's one concern that we had as a community, is that because this is going to be a virtual meeting, unfortunately, some of our community members will not be able to join this meeting due to inexperience with technology. So that is something that is kind of not against us in a way, is not being able to have the full community there. Yeah, something like this, I think, should be done face to face. You know, school closure should not be taken lightly, and I believe that they're not taking it lightly. I just mean that I think this is something that needs to be done when we're able to gather and really able to see reactions of people and be able to talk face to face and exhaust every avenue of sustaining the Clan Donald School.
What exactly do you hope to present to the board in this meeting?
Our community has worked very hard despite the COVID restrictions of being able to gather. But we did make it possible through to be able to collaborate. And yes, we're very excited. We've come up with a few initiatives that are outside of the box that I think the board would be excited to hear about. And we do look forward to being able to partner with them and to continue on with our Clan Donald School.
Anything else you'd like to add for people to know about?
Yeah, I think, people just need to start to raise a voice against rural school closure or possible closures. I mean, just because we are the ones on the list to be reviewed now doesn't mean that any other rural school is going to be safe. I mean, enrollments are down all across rural schools, not just ours. And it's just something that we need to hang on to. We need rural education.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Leith.
Thank you.
Welcome back. The Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce has joined an initiative with chambers across Canada to support economic recovery and connect students with jobs. Jace Mackey reports.
Joined today with the Executive Director of the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce. Serena, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're talking about a new partnership that the Lloydminster Chamber is joining, the Chamber Partnership Initiative. Can you first of all just give me some background about this initiative?
Yeah, so chambers across Canada are joining. It's called the Magnet Platform. So what the platform is it's a platform for businesses to log on, create an account, and if they want to hire students, it gives them access to students from across Canada. Lakeland College is on board with the platform, but you can get in touch with students from across Canada. So you can post a job on the platform. And the great thing about the platform is that it's also a partnership with the Government of Canada. So at the exact same time, you can fill out your application form to have that student's wage covered by a government grant. So 75% of the student's wage will be covered by a government grant. It's called the Student Work Placement Program.
So obviously the big feature of this is being able to connect businesses with young students that are job seekers. How important is that to be able to bring in students into the workforce, but also do so in a way that's partnering with the Government of Canada as well?
Yeah, it's so important. So students, they're taking this educational programs and they graduate, and it's really hard for them to get that experience, that real life experience. So this program can help to offer them that real world experience so that they can move forward in their career goals. And then it's so beneficial also to the business because the government is covering 75% of that student's wage. So there's so many opportunities out there for businesses to get involved. Like you may have a bakery or a clothing store who want to hire a marketing student to come in and take pictures of the products and services, post it on social media, update their websites. The opportunities out there for the businesses to benefit from this program are amazing as well. So, I mean, you can have a retirement home who wants to hire a program coordinator, or you have a landscaping company who wants to hire an office coordinator. So the other thing with this program is that you have to also be providing the student with quality work experience. So you can't hire them to, go out and cut the lawn. But if you are looking for somebody to do office work or marketing, that type of stuff, it's covered within this program. So it benefits the student, it benefits the business, and it really is a great program all around.
So for businesses who are members of the Chamber of Commerce, how are they able to take part in this and access the Magnet portal?
Yeah, so you can just go onto our website, lloydminsterchamber.com. You can go on there, you create an account. So it can be a little bit of a confusing process. So, I mean, we have a staff here in Lloyd who you can call us anytime and we'll kind of help you walk through it, because you have to go onto there, you have to create the account, then you post a job on Outcome Campus Connect, which is where the students see the job posting. And then you also apply for the SWIP funding with the Government of Canada. So it is a 3-step process. But I mean, call our office and we're always here to help you out.
And obviously this is a big partnership connecting chambers across the country and also different post-secondary institutions. How big is it to be able to have a partnership where it's not only just locally here with, like, say, the chamber here in Lloyd and Lakeland College, but being able to connect with people across the country?
Yeah, no, so I mean, we're always going to encourage you to support Lakeland College. Our local students are fantastic and Lakeland College has an amazing program, but there are just degrees that aren't offered here in Lloyd. So, I mean, maybe you're a law office looking to get in touch with a law student. You can get in touch with students in Edmonton and Saskatoon. So it's literally from coast to coast within Canada. If there's any student you could dream up, I'm sure you could track them down on this platform.
Thanks a lot for talking with me today.
Okay, thanks.
Ahead of what is expected to be a difficult budget, Alberta's finance minister has some welcome news. As Global's provincial affairs reporter Tom Vernon explains, oil revenues are on the rebound.
Rewind 1 year, Budget Day 2020. Finance Minister Travis Taves forecast oil to average $58 for the year.
These projections, I believe, are credible, but they're cautious.
But there were storm clouds on the horizon. COVID-19 was quickly spreading and economies around the world were being closed. Less than 2 weeks later, the UCP government changed its tune.
We are in uncharted territory.
By March 9th, WTI had slid to $30. It would continue its free fall and even briefly drop into negative territory. The deficit ballooned to more than $20 billion and the oil and gas industry was in crisis.
At one point had about 6 rigs working in all of Western Canada and some parts of June. It was a very scary situation.
Mark Schultz with the Canadian Association of Oil Well Drilling Contractors says from those scary days, things have started to turn around. To the point, 2021 may be the year the industry finds its feet again.
Q4 2020 turned out to be about 20% higher than what we had originally forecasted. Q1 is actually turning out to be anywhere between 35 to 40% higher activity than what we had originally forecast.
Matching that return in production is a rise in prices. WTI is now worth north of $60 per barrel. Economist Charles St. Arnaud says that means the value of oil production in Alberta is back to its pre-COVID level.
They have a better starting point in terms of revenues for fiscal year 2021 and probably also a smaller deficit than what it would have expected only 6 months ago.
It won't be enough to balance the budget, and St. Arnaud warns the storm clouds haven't all cleared. Minister Taves agrees. He says the price hike appears to have more to do with supply than demand, and he doesn't intend to bank on the volatility being done just yet.
With all the economic uncertainty, very pleased to see the increase in energy prices, but we're taking a much more conservative, prudent view.
Still, 1 year after his initial forecast, the minister is now starting to see $58 oil. Tom Vernon, Global News.
Now here are your stock market prices for today.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
Last Friday, the AJHL received approval from the Government of Alberta to restart the 2021 season starting in March and stretching till the end of May. Evan Kenny has more.
Yes, some big news coming out of the AJHL as they did announce the restart of the 2020-21 season at the beginning of March. Joining me today to break this down is Lloydminster Bobcats head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé. Nigel, thank you for taking this time and joining me. Now, just starting things off, I think it is a given, but are you guys excited to be getting back on the ice here soon?
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting. There's a ton of work that's went into it here, on the backside of things, and I think our guys are really looking forward to it, and I think it's something that everybody's looking forward to. They might not be able to be at the rink and watch it, but to be able to watch, their favorite player or their son or their nephew or whatever it may be on the TV or on the computer playing some games, especially through all of this. And the last couple of months have seemed like years, but obviously something to look forward to, and I think that's a bright spot for all of us.
Now, Nigel, can you just take us through roughly what the timeline will look like for the team?
Well, things are going to happen quick. As you can see, I'm in my home office right now, and that's all part of the return to play. So, we go through the isolation part, and then when we come back, we'll bring the guys back. They'll do more isolating, within their billet homes, and that's all in part to follow what the Alberta Health Services laid out for us. And then once things get going, it's going to be a quick turnaround. Once we hit the ice, it's not a couple of weeks of training camp or anything like that. It's kind of get some touches, get into it, and then start playing games. So, we're excited for it. Guys have to realize things are going to happen really quick when we get back, but I think everybody will be, chomping at the bit to get going.
Now, before the pause there, you guys got in 2 regular season games against the Fort McMurray Oil Barons, but it's been so long and those were such little games. Does it really feel like the regular season is just starting now?
But yeah, I think that it was definitely a unique time for us when we played those 2 games before the shutdown. Prior to those two against Fort McMurray, we had only played 2 games in a total of 3 weeks. So as a coaching staff, we learned some things through that. It was the way the schedule fell. We played Camrose on a weekday, and we played Bonnyville, and then a snowstorm hit, so we only got one of the games in with Bonnyville, and then the regular season first weekend to kick off. So it's been a long time since those 2 games, and it's been a long time since the 2 before that. So there's been a lot of days in there, but I think the planning we put forward here, knowing the turnaround from when the guys get here to the time we're on the ice, I think, we learned, and as coaches, you always need to learn things, and we'll take that in the right stride, and hopefully it makes us better coming back here.
Now it will be a busy, condensed schedule here, Nigel, as you guys will play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So only weekends and 3 games per weekend. Sort of just going from nothing to this busy schedule like it is now. How tough will that be for you guys?
Well, I think you look at the lineup when it comes to scheduling and what it's going to be moving forward. Is we're going to need everybody going, because conditioning is not going to be where it was in September or October. Guys have kept up with it with home workouts and outdoor rink skates, but I think that's still not the same as what the daily grind at the gym may be. And we've checked in with our guys. They've done some fitness testing throughout this and whatnot, just to make sure the fitness side of it's up. But I think we're going to lean on the depth of our lineup and make sure everybody's getting opportunity. And a big part here too is to get the guys back to develop them. So we got to make sure they're getting minutes, getting touches with pucks, and all those kind of things too. I think that's just as equally as important right now.
Well, Nigel, thank you for taking this time and joining me. And I think I can say for AJHL fans out there everywhere, it is an exciting time.
Now we're Connor Chan. We'll take another look at your weather forecast.
Jasper. And as we take a look here right now, 1 degree still for us here in the city, 3 degrees there for Edmonton, 2 degrees in Rocky Mountain House and in Jasper right now, 1 degree in Edson and in Red Deer, and then -1 up in Cold Lake and in Athabasca right now, 0 degrees for Whitecourt as well. Taking a look out east, -1 in Saskatoon, -7 for Melfort, and -5 in Prince Albert, -1 for Meadow Lake, and then 0 degrees out there in North Battleford. Now as we take a look here up in northern Saskatchewan, a little bit chillier still, -9s for Buffalo Narrows and in La Loche as well. A little bit colder out in Wallis Lake, Stony Rapid areas at -18, -10 in Flin Flon, and then -8 in Laurens with -17 up in Uranium City there. Looking ahead into northern Alberta, some areas warmer than others, -1 in Slave Lake with 1 degree there in Peace River and Grand Prairie, -11 in Fort McMurray, -12 in High Level, and -15 in for Chipaway. Not as hot as it was yesterday, in southern Alberta at 1 degree for Lethbridge, Lethbridge, Calgary, and -1 down there in Coronation, 2 degrees for Medicine Hat, and then -2 degrees in Banff, and we see that number in Swift Current as well, 0 degrees all the way in Moose Jaw there, as well as in Estevan, -1 in Regina and in Kindersley, and then -5 in Yorkton. Now as we take a look across the rest of the country, lots of cloud coverage for the most part as we move out east, -3 in Winnipeg, a little bit of flurries there in Quebec City at -1, 4 degrees in Toronto, 0 in St. John's, and 1 degree in Halifax there. As we take a look out west there, 6 degrees in Vancouver, mostly sunny for the most part, -20 up in Yellowknife, and then -9 in Whitehorse. Also some of that flurries in Edmonton, that's where we could possibly see those flurries come from as that system does move its way out east here. Now as we take a look here at temperatures for tomorrow, a little bit colder throughout the day, -2 for our daytime high tomorrow, as well as we'll see that in Marwayne, Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and Pierceland as well. -3 for St. Paul tomorrow, 0 in Lac La Biche, as well as in Provost and Macklin. -4 for North Battleford for tomorrow as we look at other areas in Saskatchewan. -3s across the board here in St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, and Green Lake as well, and -10 up in Isle Cross for tomorrow. Now here's what we could see over the next 7 days. We're going to have a little bit of a colder weekend this weekend compared to last weekend. 0 degrees on Thursday there, -9 on Friday with some more flurries expected on Friday and on Sunday as well. As we take a look for Saturday, a little bit colder with the wind chill playing a little bit more of a factor there. -13 the expected daytime high there. -7 on Sunday as it warms up a little bit there, and a low of -20 to start the day off there. -3 on Monday with some cloud coverage continuing on, and then looking ahead into Tuesday, -4 with mostly sun and a few clouds there. That is a look at your 7-day forecast for now. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
everybody. We're joined once again with Becca Lawrence from the Lloydminster and Community SPCA. How are we doing today, Becca?
Doing really good. How are you?
We're doing great. And who's this here hiding behind you?
This guy here is Finnegan. So he's a big gray tabby that, as you can see, neutered as well. And he and his friend, actually Windstorm, we named her. She's in here somewhere too, but they actually came to the shelter. They were left outside of the shelter. So we were thankfully able to scoop them up quick before they got too cold, kind of thing, thankfully. And then, yeah, so they're hanging out in the condo here, and that's kind of Finnegan's jam. He likes to be in big open spaces.
Well, that's great to hear that, you guys were able to get them inside warm safely in time.
Yes.
Wonderful. And how is Finnegan? Like, he seems pretty chill. He's just been hanging out behind you, just, kind of looked like he was snoozing a little bit there earlier. So he seems like a pretty calm, collected cat.
Yeah, right now, yep. He's a pretty adventurous guy. He likes to play. We would probably recommend him to go to a home with older kids, like 10 and up kind of thing, kids that know kind of to leave him alone a little bit when he is getting really playful. He likes to play. He plays with claws and teeth and stuff like that. So he's a bit much when he comes to play, but he would just do best in a home where people know how to deal with that and be okay with it, and kind of know to keep fingers away from him.
Beautiful. And how old do you think he is, Becca? Like, he looks to be pretty fully grown, eh?
Yeah, we have him, I think, at about almost 2 years old, about 1 year and 8 months now. He was here previously before a couple times and was picked up to go home and things like that, but so he's officially here now and up for adoption for his new forever home. But yeah, we just kind of noticed with him, like, he really doesn't like the bay kennels. He doesn't really like being in small spaces, so he needs a nice big open space to stretch his legs out and play a little bit.
Beautiful. All right. Well, if anybody out there, wants to get to know Finnegan a little bit better, why don't you stop on by the SPCA and say hi. So how are you guys doing for cat numbers now, Becca? I know we've been pretty full lately. Like, are you guys doing any better this week?
Yeah, actually, we're not doing too bad. We were able to call off our waiting list again as well. We're finally into January, which is really nice. So we're kind of catching up before kitten season. Hopefully we can get through it before we get a lot of kittens in this year again. But yeah, so that's good in a sense. So we're happy with where we're at right now, because we're currently, even right now, our one and only dog is hanging out at the vet clinic getting neutered today, and he's got a few people interested in him. So probably by the end of the day tomorrow, hopefully we won't even have any dogs in the shelter right now.
Beautiful. Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I did see you guys post him on your Instagram yesterday, I think it was, and he does look like a great dog. So,
yeah, he is.
Certainly if anybody out there is in the market for one, I know, Becca, you said there's a few people who are kind of waiting on him, but, I'm sure it probably doesn't hurt to give a call or to say hi anyways. And so, Becca, one last thing before we head out here. We got an event coming up this weekend, correct?
Yes, yeah, it's the magic show that the Events Edge is putting on. So our magicians, everything like that, are all on board to, on the 28th at 4 p.m. on Mountain Standard Time, I believe. And yeah, it's like $30 a ticket, so it's all family friendly. And so it's something to do on a Sunday. And yeah, and it also helps us at the SPCA.
Beautiful. I did actually check out their Instagram. I saw, because you guys have them linked on your Instagram, so I found theirs, and I saw them do, a few of their tricks, kind of do a little showcase, and it does look like a great show. So if anybody out there is interested in watching, for sure, enjoy a nice event while supporting the SPCA. It's a great combo there. So Becca, I think that's all the time we have for today, unless you have anything else to tell us.
No, that's about it.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you once again. It was great chatting with you. Great to see Finnegan. And we will speak with you again next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Manage your waste and recyclables with Quick Pick Waste Disposal. 100% locally owned and proud to serve and support the communities we call home. Quick Pick, the convenient solution to avoid pollution.
Sitting down with me right now is the Family Engagement Coordinator for Midwest Family Connections here in Lloydminster, and she's here to discuss some of their upcoming programs that they have towards the end of the month here, as well as throughout March. Becky Walker, thanks so much for doing this.
Well, thank you for being interested in our programs.
So the first thing I wanted to ask about is your parental support program. It's called Triple P One-on-One. Could you just tell me a little bit about it?
So Triple P is a positive parenting program, and it can be delivered in multiple ways. We do have a group going on right now that started last week called Fearless Triple P, and it takes a look at how to support children who have some extreme anxiety concerns. But with Triple P, there's lots of different ways to deliver it. We have programs that we can do, just kind of one-off seminars. We have discussion groups that really focus on a specific topic like managing fighting and aggression, or hassle-free shopping. And then we also have a Triple P group, which is a little bit more intensive. It has multiple sessions, and you take a look at what is positive parenting, what are ways to encourage those behaviors that we want to see in our children, how do we develop that relationship with our children, how do we manage misbehaviors, and things like that. It helps with creating parenting plans and supporting you as you work those strategies into your family and do some problem solving and seeing what's working well for you. So we run them as groups throughout the year, but we can also offer those to parents one-on-one if that works a little bit better for them.
And as February is coming to a close here, what have you guys got going on in March?
So every week we have Mothers First, and so that's for new moms of babies under 12 who may be experiencing some stress, some anxiety, possibly some postpartum depression. But it may also be they're just looking for other community connections. They may be looking at getting some information on development for baby, some ideas around self-care, how to deal with some of the stress of being a new parent and everything. We have Coffee Talk for parents of teens. And that one is for, parents of teenagers. There's lots of great things happening in those teen years, but there can also be some challenges. So it's an opportunity to connect with one of our staff members and, maybe talk about some of those challenges or concerns you have. What are some information that we can give them and stuff. And both of those programs, typically we would run them as a group, but right now we're just running them individually. So parents can connect with us and we would set up a time with them to meet with our staff member. And it can be virtually through Zoom, over the phone, or one-on-one in our center.
And for parents or families that might be interested in taking a look at some of your programs, where can they go to learn more?
So we have our Facebook page and our Instagram page, and so we update those regularly of what are those programs coming up. They can also give us a call at our center or give us an email and find out more about that. Currently as well, in March, we're booking in individual playtimes for families in our indoor playground. So like one household, they can call and find out when it's available and they can book a time to come play with their family. We have a couple new ones coming as well. We'll have Monday mornings with MFC. So a 7 o'clock Monday morning little coffee group for families to share and get information. We'll have Wednesday tip sheets. So if families have questions or looking for information around things like tantrums and toilet training and things like that, then we can give them some information and some tips.
And before we go, is there anything else you'd like to communicate to the masses?
I guess we do provide services for families. So prenatally all the way up to the age of 18. And we do have our home-based services, which is a more one-on-one support for families, depending on what the family's needs are. It could be around development. It could be around parenting practices. It could be about even, getting connected to those other community resources that are relevant for them. So we do have kind of our universal community base, but then we have a little bit more intensive one-on-one for families as well.
Thanks so much for doing this, Becky.
You're welcome.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. -2 for tomorrow. We're going to get a little bit colder, then back to warm temperatures there on Thursday at 0 degrees. -9 on Fridays. We start to get a little bit chillier heading into the weekend. -13 on Saturday. Could see a little bit more of the wind chill coming back there on that Saturday. Some snow on Friday and also on Sunday there. -9 the high there. A pretty cold morning at -20 there for Sunday. Looking ahead to Monday, -3 the daytime high with some cloud coverage. And then as we head into next Tuesday, -2 is the expected daytime high with mostly sun and a few clouds. We usually kind of are getting back to around our averages times for both our highs and our lows.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.